Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Uncle P, and from Super Easy Forex, of course. And in this video, like always, every Sunday I do a video about news events that's coming up so that you, when you're trading, you'll know which currency pairs you want to avoid trading during certain periods of time. Many retail traders are blowing their accounts because they're taking trades right before a big news event, and when that news event comes out, the market spikes, knock you out, and the account is gone. So every Sunday, you might want to do yourself a favor and hit the like and subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is hit so that once I send out a video, you'll know when it's there and you can watch it so you're prepared for the week. So even though there's the thumbnails talk about our signals, results, and stuff like that, in the video itself, it's still share content on the news events that I personally am observing. It's not to say that this is the be-all, end-all, but this is where I'm looking at. And at least you'll have a starting point to say, oh, okay, I see where he's coming from. Okay, and you'll also understand why we have a higher winning percentage than some of the average retail traders, because we know what news events are coming up, and if we do trade on them, we kind of know which way to go with it. Or if we're not sure, we typically would just stay completely out of the markets until the news event has passed. But before I get to that breakdown, let me kind of go over this. I am proud of my team because as it shows on the thumbnail, this was a full wrap up for the month of July. And we did have 42 wins, only 9 losses. And in the live trade session, which is separate from the signals, which is separate from the 42 wins and 9 losses, the live sessions are twice a week with Miss Jenny. And they did over 11,983 pips for the month of July. Not for the year, but for the month of July. So you can always find that information right here. Go to our website, click on Join the Signals group. Okay. And you can join right here. It's only $69 a month to get everything. And by right here, you know, and it will come with the live sessions where you'll be trading live twice a week with Miss Jenny. And then the signal side of the business will be sent out by Mr. Elvis. And this is our head admin, Miss Donna. So basically, Mr. Elvis will be sending you out signals, and Miss Jenny will be, you'll be live with her, being able to ask questions and everything else. You'll be able to do that with her twice a week. Okay, so that's who your team is, and so that's for the $69 a month. It's not a separate cost for the live sessions and then a separate cost for the signals. It's all one price. Okay, if you ever want to see our results, you can always click right here, and I always post what the each week breakdown is, and you can see we went week by week. Okay, week by week. So last week we only had 10 wins, only 2 losses, and 2 break evens. The week before that was 11 wins, only 1 loss. Week before that was 13 wins and only 3 losses. Week before that was 8 wins and only 3 losses. And then the Miss Jenny session, which is in blue, they had a break-even week, more of a tutorial kind of session, I guess, for the week. Then they went and hit 7,446 pips. Then the following week, they only lost 247 pips for the week, which is nothing. Then they came back and hit for 4784. So with that total, it gave us almost 12,000 pips for the month of July. For the month of July. Okay, so you can always track that. I'll leave that data right here so that it's very apparent what we're doing. If it's a tough week, you'll know because it'll be on that website. And a lot of times, the reason why it's a tough week is because there's high impact news. Like last week, Mr. Elvis did a phenomenal job. Ms. Jenny did a phenomenal job. Why? Because last week was a very, very ratchet week, as some of you guys know who are trading, because there was so much news. But here's the good news. If you were tuned into my channel last week ahead of time, on that Sunday, I had told you ahead of time every single one of the major news events that were coming out, so that before you traded for the week, you would have known, okay, let me take a screenshot of Uncle P's video, or whatever I need to do to make sure that, hey, I'm aware of these. So right before I take a trade, let me take a glance at what he posted to see if it in the ballpark of whether I need to be trading this pair or stay the heck away. And I'm going to go over some of these things in a few minutes, so you'll get another example. So make sure, if you're a part of a trading team, whether you're with us, not with us, it doesn't matter. This is part of the free service. Guess what? I just do it because I just want to help all fellow retail traders, because this was tearing up my accounts and nobody told me. There's nobody on YouTube, as far as I know, who does a weekly heads up video. And again, please do your own due diligence, because I'm not the expert in fundamentals or basically news events that moves the markets. I'm not the expert, but I am further ahead than many other traders out there because most of them don't even look at it. The only thing they look at is price action. Okay, so every week, tune in. Okay, so let's get to it. Enough said. All right, so here's what I'm looking at for the week. Right here is, now as you can see right here, this is a note from myself. Again, you can take a screenshot. Let me move my little screen out the way if it's an array. Take a screenshot of this, please, because here's what I'm looking at. Now, again, you can go through the news event. I like to go through, let me pull this up so you guys can see my FX book. This is what I like to do. I like to go here. You want to click on economic calendar. And then I like to click on this week because I want to see all the news events for this week. And sometimes after I'm done with that, I can even click on next week to kind of get a heads up and see where things are going. Okay, whether it's going to be a mild week or a loud week. Okay, so if I click on this week, you can go through each one of these events and start marking them up. Now, again, some of these I didn't add, such as the manufacturing PMIs and stuff like that. You can add it if you think it's going to be important. Sometimes those news events are not as important for the Forex market, but they are very important for the stock market. So that's why some of those that's in the red, you'll see that I won't really touch it. But for an example, China's manufacturing numbers, everybody wants to know about that. Why? Because primarily the goods and services that go throughout the world are made in where? China. So when China is announcing their manufacturing numbers, yes, all these countries want to be aware of that because that's where primarily a lot of the goods and services and the things in your home comes from. It's China. So again, if you want to add that to your own list, make your own list, do what you want, that's fine. Okay. But this is the general list for me. So when the euro is coming out with their inflation numbers and the CPI, Consumer Price Index, which is another way of measuring inflation on a consumer or the people who live in your country. Okay, you're the consumer, you're the customer, and that's what would be a better way of saying it. The Customer Price Index. How much more are you paying for your loaf of bread and your bologna and cheese? Okay, so these numbers mean a lot and they tend to make the market spike when I was trading. That's the reason why I marked these as very important, because oftentimes if the numbers came out way too wild, the market, when I was trading these pairs, went haywire. So I don't want to trade during haywire kind of announcements. I like to trade when the market is calm and peaceful. Does it make sense? Okay, so anyway, here's what happened. So that's what happened. I see that. That's coming out when? On Monday. Then on Tuesday, very important because this is one of my favorite trading pairs, is the AUD. Okay, love it. I love the AUD because it tends to trade pretty mildly, so I can know what kind of consistency it's going to do. And I like to trade consistent pairs. I don't like the ones that are jumping and wild all over the place. Scalpers like that stuff, but that's why they don't last long in the market, because they trying to be this gunslinger. They want the fast, big moves, but them big moves can jump in both directions at the same time, and just like that. I don't like all that. I like my trades to run peacefully like a stream of water so I can consistently know where my money is going. Okay? So therefore, the AUD and the NZD, stuff like that, those run pretty smooth. Okay? Check your charts. You'll see it. Pretty smooth over time, right? Okay? So this one is my favorite pair, but it's not going to be my favorite pair on Tuesday. Why? Because they have their interest rates coming out. As I see right here, we don't touch interest. I don't touch. Let me rephrase it. I personally do not touch interest rate news events. I don't deal with those. Okay. I'd rather wait till after the news event is over. Wait about 30 minutes to an hour. See if the market is still calm. If it's still peaceful, nothing, no big deal. Okay. Then at least about an hour afterwards, let the market calm down. 30 minutes to an hour afterwards. If there's any knee-jerk reactions, you'll know. But then after that, the market tends to get back in rhythm in some form or fashion. Okay. And then you have the manufacturing numbers coming out for the euro and the USD. Now, again, I typically don't pay attention to these, but at least it's a heads up. So if the market is spiking around that time, I know what's going on. Now, here's the ones that I do get kind of scary of. The pair that I like to trade the least is the Swiss. I've told you guys for many years now that the Swiss, in my opinion, is the sneaky pair, because they'll come out with some big old moves and you don't even know what happened, because they barely ever come out with news events. Okay. But when they do, I don't care what they are. I want to pay attention to them because guess what? It's important. So the Swiss is coming out with their manufacturing numbers and inflation numbers. Manufacturing is on Wednesday, but you really want to pay attention to Thursday. Thursday, because they're coming out with their inflation and CPI. Look at this. Inflation numbers, CPI, customer price index. I know it says consumer price index, but better way of saying it's customer price index. How much more are your customers having to pay for everything such as gas, rent, bills? Everything has gone up for you guys. So they're measuring that, okay? And that tells them whether the country is doing bad or better. Okay. Then you have the GBP coming out with their interest rate. So again, the GBP, this is one of the biggest ones I don't touch. I don't fool around with nobody's interest rates. I'm good. I learned the hard way. Nope. I ain't fooling with you all year long. And then you have the CAD coming out with their employment numbers. And then USD, which is the big kahuna, the non-farm payroll, which is basically employment numbers. NFP, when you hear NFP, it's non-farm payroll, which means anybody who's got a job who ain't working on a farm. Simple as that, okay? So if you work in an office, you're a construction worker, restaurant person, engineer, coder, whatever it is, as long as you ain't working on a farm, they're counting your head as cattle to see how strong the country's economy is doing. So when you hear these presidential elections, they talking about how many jobs are there, added millions of jobs. Here's what they're counting on, these numbers right here, the non-farm payroll, people who don't work on a farm, okay? So that's what tells them how good of a job they're doing as far as the job numbers or not. So this is a very important number to many, many different industries, all the way up to the president of the United States are watching these numbers. Okay, so those are the news events that I'm looking for this week. Again, if you want to join the Signal service, because again, Mr. Elvis and Miss Jenny are just knocking it out the park. So for last week, and let's go back to what they did last week and the week before in the Signal side, Mr. Elvis did 10 wins and only 2 losses, 11 wins and only 1 loss, 13 wins and 3 losses, only 8 wins and 3 losses. So that's for the month of July. So if you feel that you need help trying to pass a prop firm because you just sick or tired of trying to trade and getting messed up, and you prefer to just go with somebody who you know has a track record of winning trades, then click right here, go to our website, click right here, join our Signals Trade Idea group, and then click right here to join. And once you sign up for it, then you want to go back here, okay, because this is what it's going to look like. You're going to sign up. And then after that, you can either click here to go to the tutorials. And see, this is what the tutorials look like. Or you can click right here to the login, and then you log in and get to those tutorials. And as you can see, the tutorials are very short and sweet, but they're very, very important. So make absolutely sure that you complete each one of them. The links to your Telegram group and everything is going to be in there. And what's nice is that there's a bonus indicator in there for you. Okay, there's a bonus indicator, a free bonus indicator, and you're going to get a trading system because Miss Jenny provides you with their specific trading system. So you're going to get a trading system, a bonus indicator, and signals and live sessions twice a week with Miss Jenny, all for just $69 a month. Where else are you going to get something like that? Okay, all right. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon.